Here's a U substitution question again, except that this time it's a little tricky to see which one is the inside function. So you have to know that sine cubed of x is really a shorthand for writing sine of x cubed cosine of x dx. And now everything is in order because sine x is indeed inside the cube function, and the derivative of sine is cosine, which is right out here. So that means this is a question fit for U substitution, because U substitution is the opposite of or the inverse operation of the chain rule. Okay, so we're really thinking of this given integrand as some previous function whose derivative was computed by the chain rule. Okay, so we set U as the inside function, sine of x, du, derivative of sine x is cosine x dx. Normally I would solve for dx, but I see that I already have cosine x dx, so I don't need to solve for dx. I can just replace that by du. So all looks good. Sine x is now replaced by u. Cosine x dx is now replaced by du. However, there is a problem here. The bounds, because you have du, you can't use 0 and pi over 2. You really have to figure out what u is for x equal to 0 and x equals to pi over 2. So when x is 0, u is, which is sine of x, so sine of 0, and sine of 0 is 0. And then when x is pi over 2, in radian mode, of course, in calculus, all the calculations in doing derivatives and integration, they are in radian mode. So this is in radians. Sine pi over 2, u is sine pi over 2, and that's equal to 1. So that means that the numbers that you should be plugging in as the bounds should be 0 to 1 du. If you don't change the bounds, then you'll likely end up with an incorrect answer. And some people prefer to not do this step, and only after converting u back to sine x, they plug in 0 and pi over 2. Not only that that is slower, it's actually bad if you consider the fact that in multivariable calculus, you really need to be aware of the fact that this u and these values are for u. Okay, so make sure you do this step. Okay, even if somebody tells you, oh, you don't have to do that, please do it this way. Okay. Now the integral of u cubed, well, that's a power rule. You add 1 to 3, so 3 plus 1 is 4. You put the reciprocal of 4, which is 1/4, and you plug in 1 and 0. When you plug in 1, it's just 1. When you plug in 0, it's 0, so it's equal to 1/4.